Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 234. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
It's good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good as well.
Good.
This week on the show, we'll be reviewing Lucile Hadzihalilovic's Evolution, along with some of what we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. Remember, you can join in the discussion by emailing us at podcast@filmpulse.net or sending us a tweet at filmpulse.net on Twitter.
On the Twitter.
On the Twitters. I feel like there was a couple bits of news that came out this week.
Was there?
There was a trailer that I wanted to talk about. Goon 2 got a trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about that. It's called Goon Last the Enforcers. I was a pretty big fan of the first Goon. Not gonna lie, I was really surprised with how much I liked that movie. Big surprise. Alien Covenant got a poster. Just very excited for this one.
That's right.
You excited?
I guess so. I think it's high time that I rewatch the Alien movies.
I think it's always time to watch the Alien movies.
It's been so long. I really don't remember much of them.
Oh my god, they're so good. I even like Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. Nobody else likes those, but I do.
I think that's a rewatch that I won't be disappointed with.
Watch the director's cut of Alien 3, the Fincher.
Oh, we got director's cuts now.
The director's cut of Alien 3 is not bad.
All right.
Alien Covenant, did you see the cast list on this one?
What do we got?
So we got Michael Fassbender. He's reprising his role as David, the android. And then we also have Catherine Waterston, Danny McBride,
wow,
Damian Bashir, Billy Crudup, and Amy Seimetz.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a solid cast.
That is a fantastic cast.
That's an interesting cast.
It is.
I like it.
So very, very excited. Ridley Scott coming back to the Alien franchise. Apparently it's going to be straight up horror. It's not going to be any kind of... Yeah, very, very excited.
He's not going to try and make it cerebral?
I don't think so. I don't think he's going the Prometheus route with it. I think he's just going to stick with the tried and true sci-fi horror with this. Comes out May 19th, so keep a lookout for that one. The other thing I wanted to mention was that Silence, the trailer for that came out. The new
I saw that one.
New Scorsese.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that one.
What do you think about this?
That looks like garbage.
You think so? I'm pretty excited for it. Why do you think it looks like garbage?
I don't know. I just don't like anything about it.
All right. Let's talk about our movie this week. So Evolution is directed by Lucile Hadzihalilovic. It's also written by her alongside there's two other writers. I don't know, this says Jeff Cox in collaboration with, and then it says Alanti Kavait.
Yeah. All right.
I have a synopsis here. The only residents of young Nicholas's seaside town are women and boys. When he sees a dead body in the ocean one day, he begins to question his existence and surroundings. Why must he and all the other boys be hospitalized? All right, so let's start with you, Kevin. What did you think of Evolution?
First off, it was gorgeous.
Yep, I will agree with that.
Straight off the bat, those underwater shots. Boy. In all honesty, it could have just been that.
Well, just everything, just the whole location, like this whole island. I wanted to just go there, like how
ridiculous.
It was like bombed out ruins that they were in, and just like all of the little huts and just everything about this place. The rocky terrain.
Yeah, and it's just all like black sand, white like square buildings.
Yeah, I loved everything about that.
It's just there's a lot of spectacular stuff. It's the longest short film I've ever seen. I was really happy when I first started it. I'm like, damn, only an hour and 18 minutes? Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much. But you really feel the whole weight of that hour and 18 minutes because there's not a lot going on here.
Yeah,
like they stretch this out
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much.
definitely. There's not a lot of dialogue, and it's just it is kind of plotting. It moves, kind of lurches forward.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, I like it's. There's part of me that's like, oh, okay, it was kind of interesting, but at the same time, I don't think there was enough there to really like get a grip on me to really, kind of dig into it.
I found aspects of it to be fascinating. I was interested to learn more about this world that these people were living in, but I felt like the exploration of it was not deep enough for me to really get or understand exactly what was happening here.
Yeah,
And
because I think at first it kind of works to its benefit because it keeps everything rather vague, keeps the interest locked in. But after a while, how you're saying it kind of lurches forward and it just kind of really takes its time and it's not doesn't really seem to be digging in deep into anything. After a while, you just kind of lose your grip on it.
yep, I will agree with that. I still would recommend this because mostly due to the visuals. I mean, this movie is gorgeous, and it's not just the location. How it's shot is pretty fantastic. I mean, the cinematography in this is top notch. The creepiness of it and the kind of it almost feels like a body horror movie in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
Or even like a Lynch film, especially towards the end with when he's like in that pool thing, in that water tank.
yeah.
So it definitely gets very bizarre,
Oh, it
and
sure does.
and I appreciated that. I liked that it got really. I was eating while I was watching this, and
That's a bad that's a
there
bad
are a
idea.
few moments where I was just like, I'm not sure I want to be eating anymore. Like, I don't know if I can continue eating because there's some pretty gross stuff. For some reason, the whole was it a snail? I guess it was the snail and the belly button, that scene where it was like
Yeah.
slowly getting, and like for some reason that was just so creepy to me. But there were a number of moments where it's a disturbing little movie, and like the synopsis doesn't kind of glean any information about this movie at all. So it seems like I don't know if the dead body has any kind of connection to, because it seems like what they're saying is after he sees the dead body he begins to question existence and all of this stuff, but it seems like would he was going to end up in the hospital anyway because it seemed like he
Yeah.
was entering puberty.
Well, it's also kind of weird because that's the first thing that happens.
Right.
So you don't really get to meet Nicholas before he starts like you essentially meet him when he's questioning.
Right. So it doesn't
So
seem abnormal because we don't know what he's like beforehand. We don't know what his personality is like. I mean,
yeah.
clearly he's different than the other boys, but I don't. Was he always like that? I guess not. If they seem
Yeah.
to think that he's acting different, and I was
Well,
like,
and then you start asking questions right off the bat because why do all the women look the same?
yeah, and they
Why
look,
are all the boys like the same age and why do they all kind of look the same? And just how does this whole town work?
yeah, because
What if,
it seems as if they're stuck in the past. And at first, I thought the movie was taking place in the past, but then there's a scene involving an ultrasound, which is very clearly modern,
yeah.
and that kind of threw everything off. And I'm like, oh well, okay, I guess it's not in the past, even though that like their dress is very old timey, and it seems like they don't really have any kind of technology other than an ultrasound machine and I guess a VCR.
Yeah.
It's just a bizarre little world, and I do kind of yearn to know more about it, but the movie doesn't give you that much.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't give you that much in, an hour and 18 minutes
No, and
to bring that up again. It's just like if you condense all the information that you're able to glean from this movie, it doesn't take up that much time.
right, and if you're looking for strong character moments, this is not it either. I mean, the
Yeah.
characters are uh you get nothing out of these people. Like you said, all the women kind of look the same, and I honestly could not tell some of them apart. Like there's a scene where he gets sort of rescued from the hospital, and I could not figure out which character that was. I didn't know if it was his mom or one of the nurses.
Yeah, and they got a lot of nurses at that hospital.
Yes, they do, and they all look very creepy, and they all
Yeah,
and they all creep me out.
I don't know where they're getting their funding for their hospital.
I don't know either. See, this is another question.
Questions that plague us.
There's so many questions in evolution. I mean, I guess the title sort of implies what they're going for, right? Like that.
Yeah.
This maybe it takes place in the future. I mean, that's what we could be looking at.
Yeah, they're working towards something, and I'm not exactly sure what that something is.
I don't know either, especially with that one scene with all the women on the rocks.
Yeah,
that one really threw me for a loop. I was like, what's going on with that? And then the markings on their backs.
Yeah, it's just there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm missing. I think I want to. There's part of me that thinks that a lot of this is tied back to starfish. I guess, like if I knew more about starfish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like how starfish reproduce or something like that.
Because there's a lot of starfish. I mean, a lot of starfish imagery.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like there's a lot of focus on starfish.
Yeah, there seemed to be. Yeah.
Which starfish are pretty great. I mean, I think that reaffirmed
your love of starfish,
appreciation of starfish. Yeah, I just kind of forgot about starfish. And I was like, yeah, you're damn right. They should have a movie.
Starfish deserve a movie.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Why aren't there more starfish movies?
I don't know.
We need it.
I was thinking the other day we need more quicksand movies.
That is something that kind of fell out of favor.
Where are the quicksand movies at? I was thinking about that yesterday.
I guess it was because quicksand never really acts the way quicksand does in movies.
I don't know, but I want to see more quicksand in movies. That's it.
Right.
I need more quicksand.
We need a quicksand pit filled with starfish.
Ooh.
I just half wrote someone's movie. You can have it for free.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get it.
All right. Like I said, I would still give Evolution a light recommend, mainly for the visuals and just how kind of creepy and bizarre it is. It's an interesting one for sure. As far as storytelling, narrative, it just wasn't quite there for me. It was, I would say, slightly hypnotic. Like I was kind of mesmerized by this movie at times.
Yeah.
But it, like you said, it didn't really quite hold me, and I thought the ending fell a little bit flat for me. Like I wanted a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more to go on here.
Yeah, and it's just that there's a lot of padding too in here, where it's just like there's some long sequences of just underwater shots, but it's just kind of nothing going on. And I know, it kind of does help lull you into that, trance,
Mm-hmm.
kind of going for that atmosphere. But at the same time, it almost feels like there's too much of that.
Yeah.
It was just, we kept going back to it too often.
Well, I didn't even think about it until you said it, but it is kind of the perfect format for a short film. Like, I didn't even think about it at the time, but looking back at it now, this probably would have worked better as a short film.
Yeah.
Just get rid of all that excess padding, and you have a pretty solid short film because a good short film leaves you wanting more.
Yeah. It just, if I gathered up all that underwater footage, what do you think that come out to? Like 35% of the movie?
It's a lot.
30? I mean, it's like, oh, let's take a break underwater. It's like, all right, maybe like invest more time into your.
Well, I kept thinking something was going to happen under there, like something. We were going to see that dead body or something.
With that starfish over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's part of me. It's interesting. I mean, I guess I would go kind of like you. It'd be like a light recommend.
All right.
It's interesting, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels a bit too light.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a downer too. You'll see this week with the movies I watched. There's a theme of very kind of tragic movies in my watch list this week. Lots of downers. So let's go ahead and give Evolution a score. I'm gonna throw out a 6 out of 10 on this one.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go about the same. I'm gonna go 6 out of 10.
And this is available now on video on demand platforms. Speaking of watch list.
Uh-oh.
Let's dive into it.
Let's get it.
So, like I said, kind of a downer of a week for me. I saw, let's see, I'll start with, that one's not worth talking about. I'll start with The Fits.
Hey.
Yeah, I saw The Fits.
All right.
Great. It was fantastic. Loved it. It was...
It's a good size.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You already talked about it a couple weeks ago. I pretty much mirror your thoughts. The music was awesome. The girl, what's her name? Royalty Hightower. She was amazing for
She's pretty fantastic.
first time actress, right?
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, she killed it. Fantastic job. Yeah, it was a great movie. I love pretty much everything about it. So this will probably be somewhere in my top 10 this year. If you're not familiar with The Fits, basically it's about this girl who she's attending boxing classes, and she kind of is infatuated with these girls that are in the dance class next door. So she eventually joins them, and after she joins them, each of the girls start to have these mysterious fits where they kind of shake and convulse and go into this trance and like have a seizure almost. It almost looks like an epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
And as more and more of these girls are having these fits and are being afflicted with this, she's kind of struggling with her identity because she's sort of torn between, the boxing side and the dance side, and she's trying to fit in and be friends with these dancers, but I don't think she necessarily feels like she fits in. She's part of them, part of the group. So it's very much a coming of age story, but it's not your typical coming of age story as far as like the tone and how it's presented.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah, there's not a lot of she doesn't even talk that much through the movie.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the most impressive thing to me is that she shoulders that entire movie with barely any dialogue.
Yep.
I mean, it's minimal dialogue.
Yep. And there's another movie that is strangely similar that I'll be getting into in just a few minutes.
I have one that is not similar at all. It's called The Tall Blond Man with One Black Shoe from 1972.
Uh-oh.
It's a slapstick movie. The old slapstick comedy from the 70s.
The old slapstick-a-rooney.
Yeah. French slapstick.
Sounds like a lark.
I was hoping it would be. It wasn't. And I'm maybe kind of learning that maybe just like French comedy isn't my thing. I don't know. I was just really in a mood for like a 70s, I wanted silly. I just wanted silliness. And I kind of got it. I mean, it flirts with silliness here and there. There's some decent bits, but I mean, all in all, it was a pretty big letdown. There's actually at one point where I'm watching and I'm like, okay, it's kind of setting up the storyline here. We're about ready to get into some slapstick. They're just setting everything up. Like, it just got to be patient. And then I checked and realized that I was like 45 minutes in. And I was like, oh shit, like this is the comedy. Like this is the movie from here on out. And kind of disappointed. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but at the same time, it's not like I did mildly enjoy myself for the runtime, but it just seemed like a really missed opportunity because the main character, the unwitting, it's about it's like espionage, French spies, and they're feuding with each other in the same department. So to fuck with the one side, they go to the airport and just meet a guy. So the other side thinks that he's like a super agent, but he's just a regular dude. And it turns out that he's an orchestra violinist. So they just pick him. And then it turns into this whole thing where they're like following him and tailing him and Mike in his house and everything and trying to figure out what this guy's doing, but he's not doing anything. He's just a violin player that has no idea what's going on. And the main character that plays him, he is perfect to be a slapstick superstar. I mean, he's gangly. His hair's ridiculous. He has a very expressive face. I mean, it's just endless possibilities. And they do some things here and there that, pretty entertaining bits, but overall it just didn't quite hit that level that I was looking for.
And that's The Tall Man with One Black Shoe.
The Tall Blond Man.
Tall Blond Man, sorry.
And that's when I watched that on Mubi.
Mubi. check it out on Mubi. Let's see. I saw Into the Inferno. It's the Werner Herzog.
Yeah, and I forgot to say last week that I saw this as well. Forgot to talk about it.
Volcano doc.
Man, you put some opera on top of some volcano footage.
It's epic.
I'll watch that shit every day, all day.
Well, the thing that I noticed about this movie, and it was fine, I liked it. I found it to be entertaining, especially some of the facts that old Clive Oppenheimer gave to us. He was a bit of a dork, but
I did enjoy him. He was so happy to talk about volcanoes.
Him and that anthropologist that was digging up the bones in where were they? Ethiopia, I believe. That guy was.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, he was excited. He was so excited.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it was an entertaining movie. Like a lot of Herzog documentaries, it likes to kind of branch off and meander a bit when it comes to the subject matter. Like it's about volcanoes, but it's about so much more than volcanoes.
And he's all over the place.
Yeah, this one feels more schizophrenic than a lot of his other documentaries, because it basically, he traveled. It's an excuse for him to travel to these different places around the world and just kind of wander around and meet people and find interesting stories, which I'm totally fine with. I'm totally fine with that. One thing that I found, the footage of those, I believe they were the French volcanologists, the married couple. The footage that they had was 100 times crazier than what we saw in Herzog's footage, though.
Yeah,
I mean, that was wild. I've never seen anything like that, and that footage alone is worth seeing this movie.
Well, that's the thing. I just could. Anytime they showed volcanoes, I just can't wrap my head around volcanoes.
I know, they're so fascinating to watch. Like
the footage, the way it moves and stuff, like the ash plumes and everything, it just doesn't look real.
I know.
It doesn't look real to me at all.
And the crust on the top of the lava, and how it like breaks apart, and it's amazing. I want my screensaver to just be lava, flowing lava.
just lava moving. The most interesting thing about that movie was the John Frum at the end.
Yeah, how weird was that? So there's this village where they worship this guy who they say he's an American GI who came down.
Yeah, he's gonna come back one day.
He's gonna come back one day. John Frum. With
all of these and it's funny what they pick. They say chewing gum, refrigerators, and Cadillacs.
It's very weird.
The Cadillacs make sense to me. That would be pretty cool if an American GI just popped out of a volcano and was like, here's Cadillacs. That would be cool. But to put chewing gum and refrigerators like on the same level as Cadillacs, it's just an odd three things to ask for.
I'm surprised that Herzog didn't look into this more. Like, is John Frum a real person? Was he a GI that, was deployed and ended up there at some point?
Yeah, and I'm also really surprised that, someone with, a decent amount of money hasn't gone there, with a couple of Cadillacs, refrigerators, and chewing gum, and just been like, hey, I'm John Frum, here you guys go. And then he's, the god of that village.
Yeah.
I can't believe that has not happened yet.
Very interesting documentary. It's on Netflix, so I would recommend checking it out. Into the Inferno.
It's something. It is quite something. I saw Avatar.
Ooh, so this is interesting because you saw Avatar, and the other night I came home from work and my wife was watching Avatar, so I ended up sitting through and enduring about a quarter of it, which was 2 hours long.
Yeah, this movie is, I swear to God, it was 6 hours. It just never ended. It just kept going and going. And I was like, surely it has to end at some point in time.
My question for you is, why did you watch Avatar?
I don't know.
Just want to give it a shot?
Yeah, we were over at my sister-in-law's place and she had Avatar. And I was like, well, let's borrow it and watch Avatar, I guess. I don't know why, but I honestly didn't think it would be this bad. I was shocked at how bad this movie was.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it was different when you saw it in 2009.
It was. I can tell you for a fact. I saw it in the theater, and I liked it. and I saw it in 3D. You know, on the I don't know if it was in IMAX or not. It might have just been 3D. Either way, I was really impressed with it. After it came out on home release, I saw it on HBO, and this was, I don't know, probably 6 months later or something, whenever it landed on HBO, and I watched it again, and I was like, this is horrible. I cannot believe that I liked this movie. This is so terrible. So I think it was purely the theater going experience that helped that.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that working. Because, I mean, it's definitely a theater movie. It's something that needs to be seen in a theater.
But also a movie that has that much CG in it, where it's like 99% CG. It's like a new car, right? As soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value. With movies like that, the CG several years later. And it's really interesting.
Yeah. What's interesting, because there's certain sections of it where the CG looks immaculate. You know, one of my favorite parts of it was like the luminescent landscape stuff, how it would kind of like light up. Mm-hmm. Everything like that looked great. And some of these, you know, settings look really fantastic. And then there's other sections, you know, where you have some action going on, or, you know, movement, and it looks so terrible. And there's just that discrepancy is really jarring, to be like, wow, that looks really good, and then it's immediately followed by something that looks like absolute shit.
Yeah, it's like the new Jungle Book movie. Remember how some of the animation looks so good and some of it looks so poor?
But the thing that really gets me with Avatar is the story. Number one, the voiceover might be some of the worst I've ever seen or had to experience. That was just, man. I mean, the screenplay for this is just absolutely atrocious. The acting's atrocious. But just him, like, he essentially sets up the demise of the Na'vis. And then I like how, like, at the very last second, you find out that there's all these other tribes, and they're like, let's get these tribes together. And it's like, why didn't you do that like 8 months ago? But the fact that he's single-handedly just about responsible for their downfall, and then he saves them, obviously, because they can't save themselves. They need a white person to do it. But not only that, is he saves them by learning their culture and essentially showing them that I understand and can utilize your culture better than you can. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
It is kind of offensive, isn't it?
It's so offensive. It's disgusting. It was just awful. What an awful experience watching Avatar.
Yeah. I guess there was some news about the Avatar sequel that got a release date or something this week. I didn't really look it up because I don't care.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Don't do that. Don't do an Avatar sequel, please.
I saw one that another one I didn't like here. This is called Nerdland. This is not out yet. It's on the horizon though. It comes out, I think, in a week or so. This is directed by Chris Pranosky. It's an animated film starring Paul Rudd and Patton Oswalt.
Okay.
Titmouse made this movie. Do you remember Titmouse? They're the animation group that has done a lot of the Adult Swim stuff. Remember their little bumper after certain, I can't even remember what shows, but it's the little blue bird. It goes chirp.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, really good team. I like Titmouse. I did not like this movie. It is unfunny. It is all over the place. It is so scattered. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like an extended pilot of a TV show, or maybe just 2 or 3 episodes of a TV show kind of stuck together. Basically, Patton Oswalt and Paul Rudd play these kind of loser slackers who can't they get fired from their jobs, they can't get girlfriends, and they decide that they're going to do whatever it takes to become famous. They're just going to do whatever it takes. So they go out and they try to cash in on the whole YouTube thing and make some viral videos. That doesn't work, and then they decide we're going to go on a killing spree. We're gonna murder as many people as we can, but that doesn't work either. And then they end up becoming sort of locally famous by accident, and it's so bad. I can't even express how disappointing this movie was. I was pretty excited to see it. It premiered at Tribeca, and I was really bummed because I missed it at Tribeca. I had a scheduling conflict, So as soon as I got the screener for this, I was like, yes, I'm going to check this out. It looks really funny. It is not funny. It is full of really lame, dated social media jokes and this kind of gross out humor that just does not work. And it feels tacked on and extraneous. And there's just nothing enjoyable about this movie. The animation's slightly interesting, but that's all I can say. And it's really a shame because the cast in this is great. I mean, you have Paul Rudd and Patton Oswalt. You also have Hannibal Buress, Ricky Lindholm, Mike Judge, Reed Scott. Like, you have all these great, voice performances, but the material that they're working with is just so poor.
Wow.
So
I wasn't expecting that movie to be that bad.
It's bad. I would avoid Nerdland.
Wow. I have one to not avoid. Perfect segue.
Yes.
It is
nailed it.
Just did a fist bump. You can't see that, but I did it. The Phenom from this year, Noah Bushell. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. This is on Netflix Instant, and this is quite a surprise for this year. I'm really glad that I checked this one out. It's you got Paul Giamatti, Ethan Hawke, both of them give great performances. You got Johnny Simmons plays a rookie pitcher in the major leagues, a hot phenom. He's having an unbelievable year. It's his first year in the league. He's just destroying everybody. But he has this one outing where he's facing another pitcher that's batting, and he ends up throwing like a bunch of wild pitches, kind of falls apart in front of the national audience, and he's just kind of rattled. So he has to go to a sports therapist and mental coach, which is played by Paul Giamatti. And they kind of I said that it's a baseball movie, but there's not a lot of baseball in this. So if you're not a big baseball fan, I would still check it out because it's more about him interacting with his mental coach and trying to get over this hurdle of what's affecting him, which turns out to be his relationship with his dad, who's played by Ethan Hawke, who is kind of in and out of jail. He was supposed to be a pro baseball player, but things kind of fell apart, that type of thing. So that's what he's dealing with. And then all the pressures of him being, one of the top prospects in the league and, in high school and all that type of thing. And it's really fantastic. Screenplay, acting is great. He does a lot of interesting things too with the visuals, even though it's kind of like a low key, just kind of like a family drama, really. But there's this one sequence where he's pitching in high school and Ethan Hawke, his dad, is in the stands and he gets arrested, and just everything fades out to black except for the police siren lights, which lights everything, and it kind of goes to Iris in and just focuses on him and Ethan Hawke and what's happening there. And then there's another unbelievable in a hotel room where he's talking with his agent and stuff, and it cuts time. It just completely jumps time, but without cutting the shot. So he walks into the bathroom, and then as the camera pans over the rest of the hotel room, they're now sitting and eating dinner.
I love it when that happens.
It's just, there's not a lot of action in this movie, and it's most of it's hinged on dialogue, but just little moments like that where it really livens things up, and it's just really interesting. Plus, just Ethan Hawke does an incredible job, and Paul Giamatti too. Both of them. It was quite the surprise.
Cool. And that's The Phenom.
The Phenom.
On Netflix.
I highly suggest that one. One of my favorites of the year.
Wow, that's great. That's impressive.
Yeah.
One that I don't suggest is Dudes from 1987. This is directed by Penelope Spheris, who did Wayne's World, and she did that documentary series, The Decline of Western Civilization, that I was a big fan of. Interesting director. This movie's not that interesting. It stars John Cryer and Daniel Roebuck and Flea as three
everything.
Yeah.
Everything you just said sounds pretty fucking interesting.
So they play these three punk rockers who live in New York City, and they're just tired. They're tired of living in the grimy city, so they're going to go out west. They're going to head to California, start a new life, So they're taking a road trip out to California. They decide to camp out along the way, and they get jumped by a bunch of rednecks. And these kind of hillbilly types kill Flea. And they decide to at first they were just going to say screw it and go to California, but then they decide to get revenge and find these guys and kill them. Now, this sounds like a pretty heavy movie. This is a comedy. And in the synopsis, it says it's a lighthearted comedy. Now, nothing about this. And the funny thing is, it's presented in a very lighthearted way, but there's so much killing in this. It's like, what is, like, tonally, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, their friend got shot in the face and killed. And then they are systematically killing these men, but there's nobody cares that any of these people are getting killed. It's a very, very odd movie. Not to mention the fact that you have John Cryer, Daniel Roebuck as these kind of like hardcore punk rock dudes. Like Daniel Roebuck has a huge mohawk, and John Cryer looks like he's Sid Vicious. And these are like two actors that I would never think would be in that, fit into that kind of character.
Yeah.
Because when you think of John Cryer, you just think of him as the guy from 2.5 Men, who's this kind of straight-laced dork.
This is him, I guess, trying to break out from being, essentially typecast there.
I mean, back then, because this is in the 80s, so back then he had some other roles like this, but I don't know what to say. It's not great. It's semi-entertaining, but it really took me a long time to get through it. I had to turn it off and come back to it about 3 times, and like Avatar, this felt like it was just never going to end. It just went on forever and ever and ever. But it's okay. There's no DVD release for this, so the only way you can see it is on VHS or on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube.
It's probably a glorious VHS rip.
It is a VHS rip, and it is absolutely atrocious quality.
Wow.
So, check it out. I'm trying to, because I'm completing my 52 films by women challenge. So a lot of the movies that I'm picking are more obscure, and this was one of them.
It sounds like something I have to watch.
It's on YouTube. You can check it out for free. It's weird. It's, like I said, kind of tonally very off, because it's like a fun road trip movie with these two dorky punk guys, but they're killing people.
I just like that they're called dudes, but they're punk rockers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dudes are surfers.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know if it's referring to like dudes as in cowboys, like Dude Ranch.
Okay, that's true.
Because there's this kind of cowboy theme, because where they end up is in Utah, and it's not like it's not specifically rednecks, like southern rednecks that are coming after him. It's like cowboys. And Daniel Roebuck ends up dressing up like a Native American in it. And then John Cryer dresses up like a cowboy.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the poster is so much worse than the movie.
The poster looks amazing.
I mean, can you look more 80s comedy than the cactus?
Because it looks as though they're out in the desert, and someone's looking for them, chasing them. And they're like, let's try and blend in. Do they do that at any point in the movie? Where they pretend to be cats?
No, I wish that happened, but no, that doesn't happen. At no point in this movie is there a cactus that is dressed up like one of them.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that poster, but it's ridiculous.
That's a bummer. That's all I got.
Oh, okay.
From my side of things.
All right, I got a couple more things that I can quickly mention. The big one is Moonlight. I saw Moonlight this week. This will certainly be one of my favorites of the year. This is it's directed by Barry Jenkins. It chronicles the life of this young boy living in Miami, and it goes through his childhood, so it's set up in kind of three acts. The first one is when he's a young boy. The second one is when he's kind of in his adolescence in high school, and the third one is when he's a grown man. And it goes through his life and the kind of trials and tribulations that he faces. And oh my God, this movie! It is every scene is so perfectly shot. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. It's a tragic film. It's very sad. The kind of life that he is that's thrust upon him, and I would highly recommend seeing Moonlight. I think it is playing everywhere now. The performances in this are absolutely amazing by all three of the actors that play the main character, and it's so nearly perfect for me. I loved it. I thought it was just incredible.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's that was the other news thing that I forgot to mention, was that the Independent Spirit Award nominees were announced this week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I think Moonlight had the most nominations. I think they ended up getting nominated for like 9 or something.
I also saw the director of Embers.
Mm-hmm.
She's up for something, or she did win one of those, because they have those grants. I think it was one of those grants.
Yeah, I'm surprised that movie really took off after. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, and another thing is that's actually on Netflix right now too. You can watch Embers.
I was pleasantly surprised to see. I don't even remember where did we first. I don't remember what festival.
It played a really small festival.
It was like some weird like small festival, and we covered it, and then it started getting into more festivals, and then I think buzz just started growing up around this movie. Very pleased with that. But anyway, Moonlight, go see it. It's definitely one of the best movies of the year. I don't know if it's gonna be like, I would love to see it be nominated for some Oscars. I don't know if it's mainstream enough to get noticed by the Academy, but
this is gonna be the year. I can feel it.
I hope so.
Feel it.
I saw a movie called Mirror Mirror from 1990. This is not the fairy tale one. That was the one with Julia Roberts, right? Did not see that one. It's a different Mirror Mirror. This is a horror movie,
right?
Directed by Marina Sargenti. It's a kind of a witchcraft type movie. It's definitely got that late 80s, early 90s aesthetic to it. The main character looks almost exactly like Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder's character from Beetlejuice. She's this kind of goth girl from LA who moves to this small town with her mom, played by Karen Black, and there's this strange mirror that was left over in their house, and it turns out that this is sort of a demonic mirror that has the ability to grant wishes, sort of. And you can kind of use the mirror to do whatever you want, get whatever you want. And the girl, I think her name's Rainbow Harvest. That's her name, Rainbow Harvest. That's her real name, is Rainbow Harvest. Yes. She sort of falls under the mirror's spell and starts doing a lot of really terrible things. And the movie's average. It's not great. It's okay. It was semi-entertaining. Nothing really noteworthy with this one except the end. There's a really cool twist that happens at the end that sort of redeemed any kind of mediocre aspects of this movie. So I'd say maybe it's worth checking out. It's on Shudder. And the only other one that I saw was Come and See from 1985.
Okay.
Yeah, so I watched Evolution, and I was like, well, I'm in the mood for a palate cleanser after Evolution, so I watched Come and See.
Did you know what Come and See was about?
Yeah, I was kidding. So it's funny because, everybody always talks about how brutal this movie is, and for the first, probably almost the first hour, I was like, well, this is bad. It's terrible. This is really sad and really emotional, but I'm just not seeing the major brutality of this. And then this shit really started to happen there towards the end, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say that I've seen a lot of war movies, and I think that this is the best World War II movie. One of the best. I don't know. I think I still have a soft spot for Saving Private Ryan, but this is up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
as far as a movie that realistically and accurately shows the brutality of war without Hollywoodizing it or romanticizing it in any way, this is it. I mean, you watch this and you see what's going on, and it looks real, it feels real, and it's like you're just disgusted by what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, there's that one, because another thing for me was the cinematography in this is outstanding.
Out of control. It is so good.
And there's that one scene that just sticks with me, which is when he's with the girl and they kind of run past the barn.
Oh my god! And it pans back,
and it's just and you just see, like, you just catch a glimpse of all the bodies.
Yeah, because she sees it and he doesn't see it. He keeps running, and she looks back and sees it. So he's still all happy. He thinks he knows where everybody is, but just the way that they are tracking them and then pan back and you see it. I mean, it made me audibly say, "Oh my god!" when it happened, because it just evoked that kind of reaction. It was just so powerful. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is amazing. It is so good. This is, I would say, almost at masterpiece level for me. Like, it was almost a perfect movie. There were a couple things that kind of irked me. Just a couple scenes, really just one scene specifically, was the laughing scene where when he first meets the girl and they're just like, they're crying and then they're laughing, and then it just lingers. It goes on and on and on. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys are laughing. It's funny. You're living in a funny topsy-turvy world. Let's just move on. It was so, for some reason, it just annoyed me to no end. But the fact that they used live ammunition in this,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Was crazy and made everything look even more
that
wild.
Sequence with like the cow and oh god.
Yep. Apparently the movie was so traumatic that it made the kid's hair go gray during filming. And when you see it at the end of the movie, because this movie was actually shot in chronological order, when you see it at the end, his hair, he does have gray streaks in his hair.
It's so ridiculous.
And I also read that they tried to hypnotize him for when they shot some of the really kind of brutal scenes. They didn't want to mess him up because, he's a young kid, so they didn't want to mess him up. So they tried to hypnotize him, but it didn't work. So,
all right.
Yeah, a lot of really interesting things about this movie.
Let's just destroy one kid's.
I guess I should mention, if you're not familiar with Come and See, it's a Russian film that is about. It takes place in Belarus, and it's about a young kid, very young kid. He's like 12 or 13 maybe, who decides to join the resistance fighters against the Nazis in World War II, and it just kind of goes through his story, and it is just heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would recommend seeing it. I think it is one of these kind of must see movies. It makes me wonder why they would never show this in schools, but this is one that you need to see in schools. Show this to kids because it's about. It's also
the type of movie that it deserves a release from somebody. I mean, like a respectful restoration. I mean, it needs something. It's too good to just wallow in. I forget who puts it out, but I think it's only out on like DVD. I don't even know if there's a Blu-ray of it.
Yeah, it's the DVD I watched was really shit quality. So I think that it does need it needs a remaster. It needs the Blu-ray treatment. I mean, I don't understand why Criterion wouldn't put this out. I mean, of course they have to get the rights and all of that stuff, but I think that this is a no-brainer for Criterion. It fits with their model perfectly. Because I mean, holy shit! That's what surprised me the most was how amazing the cinematography in this movie was. Like it looked so good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Also the sound. Early on in the movie, a bomb goes off right by the kids, so he's pretty much deaf through the whole movie. So what we hear is lots of like muffled chatter and stuff like that. And then towards the end, when the Nazis invaded the village, it was just nonstop. I mean, the sound is so intense at times, and then muffled. Like you have this kind of. It's really interesting how they design the sound in this, and also the fact that they quite frequently look directly into the camera.
Yeah.
So that's always something I like. All right, that does it for what we've been watching. Let's talk about some predictions. Last week, Allied, you said 52, I said 68. Actual 62.
Nice.
Bad Santa 2, you said 20, I said 18. Actual 24.
Wow, that's too high.
Yeah, I feel like that is too high. And Lion, you said 40, I said 42. Actual 77.
What?
Lion, roar.
Oh god.
Yeah. Next week we have Jackie. Lots of positive buzz about this one. Lots of big buzz.
Watch out.
Natalie Portman action. I think that this is gonna be huge.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say huge. I'll say 87.
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be inexplicably popular because it looks like garbage. I'm gonna say, what number did you go with?
I said 87.
87. I'm gonna go with an 82.
You know what's funny with these biopics? It's they always try to make it like it's something different. Like, oh, this is a different kind of biopic. Like this focuses on a different aspect of their life, or this looks at it from a different angle. But it always, or most often, it ends up being just the same.
Yeah. It's gonna be awful.
And with Jackie, I don't know. I'm a huge Natalie Portman fan, so I might give it a look just for that. And I'm sure that it's gonna be up for all kinds of Oscars and shit. But yeah, I don't know. The one that I am excited for is The Eyes of My Mother. We're not gonna predict that because it's not getting any kind of wide release. I think it's coming out on VOD actually. But The Eyes of My Mother. Very interested in that one.
That does look good.
Yeah. Always Shine comes out.
Awesome.
Yeah. That one is absolutely worth checking out. That's the Sophia Takal one with Mackenzie Davis. Let's see what else we got. Pet. That's the one. We'll be talking about that later this week in Ryan Watches a Movie. Man Down. That's the Shia LaBeouf one that has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Watch out.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these are getting VOD, but I don't really know anything that's getting wide. I don't even think Jackie's getting a wide release, actually.
Probably not.
I think that's getting limited release for qualifying run.
Yay!
Yeah, so I don't really know. Not a lot coming out next week. A movie called Siren, which is, you know what that is? Remember the VHS segment in the first VHS movie? I think it was the first segment about the guys having they were like, I don't know, it was a bachelor party or something.
Trying to hook up with that banshee.
Yeah. That's the adaptation of that short. So they extended that into a feature.
Okay, that's a bad idea.
It is. It really is. I'll probably watch it. Yeah. All right. VOD next week. Let's see what we got. On December 1st, we got Alley Cats. Not sure what that's about. We got Pet. This is on the 2nd. Then we have Siren, Blood Brothers, and Run the Tide.
I like the poster for that one.
We have Mavis, and then we also have The Eyes of My Mother. Lots of stuff on VOD next week. Since we updated our calendar, we've been getting a lot more people contacting us with upcoming VOD dates. So if there's anything that's missing on our VOD calendar on the site, send me an email, podcast@filmpulse.net, or just send me a tweet at filmpulse.net and let me know if there's a specific date. We're looking for pre-theatrical and day-and-date VOD releases. We're trying to make the most complete VOD calendar out there because there's not another one that exists. Next week on Blu-ray, this is for November 29th. Got The Driller Killer, the Abel Ferrara, 1979.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting an Arrow release.
Cool.
I saw that a couple years ago, and I don't really remember too much about it, but I remember it being very sleazy.
Oh, you know it's gonna be sleazy.
Mm-hmm. We got Don't Breathe. That's the Fede Alvarez one that I would absolutely recommend. One of my favorite horror movies of the year. We got the BFG. We got Pete's Dragon. Phenomena from 1985 getting a release.
Okay.
Any criterions?
0 criterions.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I would say for next week on Blu-ray, maybe check out the Driller Killer. I mean, I would recommend that Phenomena Steelbook, but it's probably expensive. Looks like one that's expensive. Yeah. I'd say if you can find it cheap, I'd say pick it up. But
anytime they tackle on Steelbook.
There's also one 1976's Death Machines comes out on Blu-ray. That's a Vinegar Syndrome release. I'm interested in that.
Was that a plural?
Yeah, Death Machines.
Death Machines. Wow. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's got a great cover. An evil Oriental dragon lady injects 3 martial arts fighters with a serum that turns them into zombie-like assassins, and she sends them out against her enemies.
Yes, please.
Oh, Vinegar Syndrome. I love you.
Please, I want this. I need this.
Oh, how could I forget? Absolutely Fabulous. The movie also comes out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I think that is going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.